Hello, Internet. Hello, Henry. This is Sam Rupesky and After Campfire, and I am here at work. It's Wednesday. Um, I was away all weekend. We went to Florida. I went and met Sydney's grandparents. They're very nice people. I went and we stayed with Sydney's aunt and uncle and her cousin, who is like a literal child. Like he's like 17, and I often like forget that 17-year-olds are kids, and like you know, he's a child. Like the way he talks, I was like, "Oh, it's a nice young man." And then he opened his mouth. I was like, "All right, you sound like every CIT I've ever worked with." Um, um, then yeah, so it's been a very busy time. We went to a Rangers game in Florida, which was amazing. We went to a movie. No, we didn't. We didn't. We're going to see a Broadway show tonight. We're going to go see Peter Pan Goes Wrong, which is super exciting. I love the Goes Wrong series, and we've seen the play that goes wrong. I've seen the show that goes wrong. Now it's Peter Pan Goes Wrong, and I'm really excited about that. So that's a thing that's happening. I am in my office. I am at work. As I've stated before, it is much harder to do these at home now, uh, just because I've been so busy. But at work, I can usually if I get in early, which I am today, it's 8:30 in the morning. Um, I can usually dedicate like 15, 20 minutes to sitting down and rocking these out. Um, so yeah, so yesterday I worked from home. I had a doctor's appointment and I worked from home, and I've been super busy with that. Um, and yeah, so I've been like really busy. I've been doing shows. So oh, by the way, so here's the deal. So this whole weekend thing, we went down last Wednesday night. Our flight got delayed, so we didn't get into like 12 a.m. We slept in Thursday, woke up, had like a really quick breakfast, went and met Sydney's grandparents, who, this is my issue, all right? So, Sydney's grandmother needs the same hip surgery that I had. Sydney's grandmother also has vocal cord damage. And so all I keep thinking is either Sydney's grandmother, you know, is in great shape for a 78-year-old, or I am in terrible shape for a 28-year-old, 29, for a 29-year-old. Because the fact that her and I have had, the same physical ailments, very concerning. Um, so that's a thing that's happened. Then the rest of Thursday we kind of hung out. We had like a small quick dinner. We went and like looked at a few things. We went to the pool and I got to go swimming, and that made me very happy. Then Friday, what did we do? We got up early. We did breakfast. I think we went back to her grandparents with her. Oh, we went to Jackson's. That was it. We went to Jackson's. Now Jackson's is uh, a an ice cream shop in Florida. It's a thing in Hollywood, Florida, and it is delicious. And the portions are always giant, and everything is ridiculous, and it's very nostalgic because my grandparents used to take me there when I was a kid. I also broke my foot there in eighth grade, um, and so like it was really cool going there, and like Sydney and her aunt and her cousin had never been there, so it was like really cool for them to see and experience this, and they were like, "Oh yeah, no, I see exactly why people come here." Like they get like I ordered as a kid always the root beer float, which came in a 32-ounce mug, like not a mug, like a pitcher, like you're supposed to pour it pitcher, um, and it comes with a described cannonball of ice cream, which is probably like I'd say like a quarter pound of ice cream, like big, big bowl of ice cream, like this big. And you're supposed to just they put it and they give you extra soda and like it's a whole thing. So that was a lot of fun. And then from there, we went back to her grandparents, hung out with them for a little bit more. That night, we hung out, we relaxed. Um, Next morning, we went to the beach. And I was the only person in the water because it was like apparently a really bad rip current, like rip tide, but like it just felt like the beach, so it was great. And we stayed there for a while. We went home, we got changed. We went to the Rangers game. The Ranger game was at 5. It was almost entirely Ranger fans in Florida, which was insane to like be a part of. The Rangers won. We went home, and like Sydney's aunt was like, "We'll go out for dinner," and like we were just like, "No, we're really tired." So we went to bed at like 10, maybe 11. We woke up at 3. Got to the airport around like 4:30. Um, got on a plane at like 7. I think our plane was at 7:04. Something like very specific. Uh, Flew home. Got in a cab. Went to Sydney's, like parents, like her mom's apartment in the city. Went, took the car, went home. Then we slept for a little bit, like relaxed for like 5 seconds. Then Sydney's like, "We gotta clean the apartment." I was like, "Why?" So we cleaned a little bit. Then we went back into the city, picked up Sydney's dogs and her friend who'd been walking said dogs. Um, and we then went and sorry, someone just came and like asked me questions while I was in the middle of this. Like they saw that my door was locked, saw that I was talking, and then just was like, "Hey, you're not busy." I was like, "Okay." Um, so yeah, so we went back into the city, picked up the dog, picked up her friend who was watching the dogs, drove her friend back to Brooklyn, then drove an hour home, got home, had a quick dinner, fell asleep with the dogs in our apartment, woke up super early, brought the dogs back to the city, fell asleep at the apartment, and then had to go to work that day because it was Monday. Um, and then I had D&T that night, so like I've been like super tired running on empty. So like yesterday on my work from home day, the fact that I was able to sleep in till 8 was like a godsend. Um, and now I'm here at work at 8 today. So yeah, so I apologize that my video is late, and this was a long explanation to explain why my video was late, but it's been a very busy few days. Amongst all of that, um, my book, my chapbook, Self-Diagnosis, sold out. We're done. We're not making any more. There is a specific limited run that's coming to me that is 25 books just so that I can have a few when I go and do shows. But we're done. When those are gone, we're gone. It's over. We did it. The books sold out. They sold out within a month. It was great. So yeah. Uh, Henry, your next video is probably going to be on your birthday and or April 1st or whatever. And that's cool. So you asked me something. You said that I didn't answer your question about what things I'm excited for. I said things I'm excited for. I'm excited for everything right now. I'm living a great life, Henry. I'm having a lot of fun. So I'm excited for a lot of things. And I asked you what you were looking forward to about this camp reunion. And the more I've learned about the camp reunion, the more questions I have, predominantly because of the fact that, the same day that I made that video and found out about the camp reunion and everything, Mark was like, "Hey, we're going to need your help during the camp reunion." And I was like, "No, you won't. No, you don't." So yeah, what am I looking forward to the camp reunion? What do I expect to happen? A mess. I expect a mess. You brought it up like, oh, this is after mini camp. It's after. Like, I don't even know what staff members would be there. How it's going to be organized. Are we going to be in bunks? How do you organize your bunks? Are the bunks co-ed? How do I like go? They specifically said, oh, you can bring your significant other. Okay, so then where would they stay? Like, do we have our own room? Do we share a room? How does this work? No questions have been answered by that. So I don't have answers to any of those questions. Henry then goes, well, who do you want to see at the reunion? Who do I want to see at the reunion? I don't know. Like, here's the thing. There's like a specific group of people who are like, I was friendly with, who I see posting stuff now about the reunion. Like I saw, what was it, Camille Finn? Camille Finn. It's like, okay, cool. I haven't seen you in years. Or like, um, Jay Morrison, who's from before our time. Um, who else? Like, just people. To be very honest, I don't know who I would see at the reunion because I don't know who would go to the reunion. I haven't thought about this reunion at all. Like, I just haven't. I've got so much other stuff going on in my life right now that my brain's like, oh yeah, there's a reunion happening. So it's been busy. And I think the other thing is because I know that Mark is trying to get me to work it, I just haven't thought about it in like a positive in ever. So maybe something good happens. I don't know. I don't really want to see anyone at the reunion. I don't. There's no. I mean, I talk to the people that I want to talk to. You know, like I talk to you. I talk to Sydney Gee. I talk to Alicia. I talk to Sid. I talk to Jason. I talk to like the people that I do. I don't need to see Rebecca Zedek. No offense to Rebecca, I don't think she ever watches these, but like, what am I going to talk about with you? I don't need to see like the people who haven't stayed in my life since I was a camper. Like, I see Matt Anderson. I talk to Matt Anderson. I know Matt Anderson. We know where each other's at. I don't know what Brandon Metzger's up to. I love Nikki. I'm glad Nikki messaged me. I love that. I haven't heard from Brandon though, and like he was in my cabin. Like I don't I have who am I gonna see? Andrew Boyer? I don't know. There's not really anyone there that I'd want to specifically see who I think would go. So that's my answer is no one. I want to see no one. I mean, I want to see the people who I normally. I don't have an answer to this question. And I'm going to stumble around for a little bit longer thinking about it. I got nothing. So that's my answer is no one. My friends who I already always see, like, no one. I see all my friends all the time, forever. So yeah. Um, with that, I guess I should ask Henry a question because Henry turns 30 uh, on the 31st, which is a really big deal. I'm going to, for the next video, because I've already started planning it, make sure to include a clip from Bo Burnham's inside of turning 30. Because if I don't, I'm not a good friend. So I guess, Henry, you're turning 30. And the question I have for you as a 30-year-old is, what have you learned in 30 years? What have you learned in 30 years? And like, give us like a how have you changed and learned and grown? Like, how is the world different for Henry now than it ever was? And what do you think the next 30 years will be like? Henry, what are you going to look like when you're 60? Will you have 10 fingers? Maybe. Technology is amazing. We don't know. And so I guess the question becomes um, think throughout like your past 30 years and like what are the highlights that are super important to you? And then what do you think the future is going to look like? All right, that's it. This is a 15-minute video. I spent like a good 10 minutes of it thinking about, what I did this past weekend. I spent a solid like 5 minutes explaining why this reunion is going to be an absolute mess. And I spent 1 minute asking Henry to tell me about his future and his past because Henry is 30. He's going to be 30. That's 30. That's 3 decades. Henry has been doing this for literally 3 decades, not the videos. I mean, the videos we've been doing for like almost 2 decades now. But like, has it been 2 decades? No, it's only been a decade. But 30 years of being alive, I couldn't imagine it. Tell me about it, Henry. Goodbye.